Hi everyone, I'm Laura Heig with Century 21 Scheetz, your key to the finest homes, and today I get to do something really fun. I'm with my friend Kathy Lipke.
Hey.
She is KL Interiors, and Kathy is my go-to source for clients who are looking to stage their home so that we can get it sold. And then in a lot of cases, you go in with people later in the next house and
I do.
and do
Help them with
decorating.
their new home. Yeah.
All right.
It's a nice.
So I love what you do because you're phenomenal at what you do, and I am not. So I tell people I know who to call for things, and I know how to call you. But could you give people today some ideas of things that they could do on their own that would help them get their home ready for sale?
Sure. So when I'm hired by you, what I basically do is start at the front door. I kind of look at the way a potential buyer would look at the house, and I start when I drive up. How do I feel? Does the landscape look decent? Does the front door have a nice mat, a pretty wreath? For me, those clues are the clues that what's on the outside is going to be on the inside. So if I were a potential seller and looking to put my house on the market, I'd start there. I'd start at what they're going to see when they pull in the driveway. Even though they haven't even stepped into the house, they already are going to know if it looks well manicured on the outside, they're going to want to come inside, and usually it matches inside. Once I walk in, I can tell right away if a house has been kept up. It doesn't have to be perfectly cleaned. I like when things are decluttered. I like to be able to see the space, see the wall space, see the floor, envision my own furniture in there, my family in there. And when there's clutter, it's hard to do that. So what I like to do when I walk in is kind of see what I've got in front of me and what needs to be taken out. Crates, clothes, boxes, shoes, all of that is a distraction. So if you kind of go through your house that way and think, what do I want to show off and what needs to go away? You have to kind of take out the idea that you're living there. And I know that's hard.
That is hard.
Because we get used to living in our homes. We get comfortable with laying things down. It may stay there for weeks, but we're not selling. When you're selling, you have to look at things as if somebody could come in at any moment. And so I take out everything that is fussy. Even if it's not convenient to take it out, I move it. Even if the shoes by the front door are so easy to put on and go, they got to go in the closet. Even if paperwork goes on the dining room table and that's how we organize our lives, it's got to go somewhere else. So if you can kind of look at your life and say, what do I want a stranger to see and what don't I want them to see? I think that's a good way to kind of look at it if they were going to start staging their house.
So I love those first 2 points.
Okay.
Guys, one of the things I tell people all the time, and you hit it initially, this is what happens when someone goes to look at a home. You brought the point up that it's the curb appeal and what they look at up front initially. One of the things I know is when it's my buyers, I stand at the door like every other realtor does, and we fiddle with the lockbox because we've got a card or a combo or something, and then I've got to get a key out, I've got to get the door open. While I am doing that, a buyer stands around and they do this.
Yep.
And they look up at the ceiling, they look if there are cobwebs on the porch,
right.
They look for hornets' nests, they look at all this little stuff before we ever go in the house.
Right.
And you're right, it makes such an impression. And anybody can do this, Kathy.
Right.
Anybody can go.
Oh, you don't need to be a home stager to do
Right.
this. It's
right.
just
This is something
clean up the area.
Anybody can do.
Absolutely. I've had clients tell me that they can tell by the front door mat and or wreath if they're going to like the house. I mean, that's how specific some people are. Like they feel like the outside is going to take them inside. And if there's attention to detail on the outside, there's going to be attention to detail on the inside.
So I'm going to buy a new wreath on the way home from
Yeah.
here today
You
because
should.
now I'm just kind of feeling like my house could use some attention.
Well, and that's exactly it too. If you're not selling your house, a new wreath for the spring just makes
It
you
feels good.
love your house a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, we take attention to our clothes and our every other aspect of our lives. Why not put a front door wreath on? And then when you pull up from a long day of work, you go, oh, there's my front door wreath.
And it makes me
feels fresh.
smile.
And it makes
Yeah.
you smile.
Exactly. So exterior curb appeal is the first thing.
Yes.
The next thing I hear is declutter
Mm-hmm.
is the big thing. So going in, and I call it having buyer's eyes.
Mhm.
I tell buyers when I work with them at whatever the price point, I see more homes at that price point than maybe they have. So I look with buyer's eyes. And that's kind of what I hear you talking about
Absolutely.
is what's out that we don't need all the time that's just a convenience.
Right. Because I think when you live in a house every day, you forget, you don't see the things that somebody that comes in who's never seen your house sees. And so if you pass by the basket full of junk that you leave every day, it may be convenient to have it, but if you pass by it, all of a sudden you don't really notice it as being kind of a block in the way that people see it. To you, it's very functional, but you no longer need to function that way. You have to function to make buyers come in your house and want to actually live in your house. And so by taking those little roadblocks out, that the shoes, the coats that lay, the laundry that's on the kitchen counter, those kind of things, yes, we all live that way, and that's a really casual way to live, and we all do it. There's nothing wrong with that, but you do have to change the mindset when you have people that are going to come in now and scrutinize your house in a different way. So I do think that you have to think like almost like a hotel. It almost is like it's a temporary living now. It's not you have to take out the things. Sometimes there are things that are kind of inconvenient. Sometimes people have too much furniture. It works for them for their everyday lives, but it just feels too tight. So sometimes you have to take out a chair or two. Sometimes you remove a TV off of a kitchen counter because it just is taken away from the look of the counter. The TV itself, when you're home, that's great, but now you want to sell your house, so you want the kitchen counters to show, not the TV. So I think it is a change of a mindset, and I think that when you are willing to go there and really want to sell, it's beneficial to you to be able to take out those roadblocks.
So Kathy makes a great point, guys. How we live in our homes is entirely different than what our home looks like to sell it.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, it can really impact how we sell our home in that piece. I use the phrase turnkey for people. And this is where some of you may be thinking, why does this matter? Well, it matters in terms of what the dollars are
Absolutely.
that you get for a home.
Right.
So I'm going to tell a little story about Kathy because Kathy and I have worked together for a long time. I've been Kathy's realtor. So back before you had a staging business, you just did this really, really well. And I walked in the door to look at your house to sell it, and I thought, it was perfect. It was ready to go because you got it with what that was. But in the last couple of years, I had some folks that needed to sell a house, and it was going to be empty, and not much had been done in that house in 30 years.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
30 years,
Long
right?
time. It was
yeah. And so I gave them two choices, and this was a bigger job.
Yes,
with this.
it was.
So sometimes they're little jobs, sometimes they're bigger jobs. And I gave them two choices, is empty it, give me the house, and I gave them a number that I would list the house at and sell based on the condition. I also gave them a second number if they would let you come in and do what you deemed that we needed to do to sell that house.
Yep.
For perspective, that number was $90,000 different. That's a
was a big
number
difference, yes.
in the Indiana market.
Yeah.
And what did they spend? About $25,000?
Yeah.
All right. So $25,000 is a lot of money. Every house doesn't need $25,000.
Not at all. Yeah.
But
no, this was the entire
this
house.
was the entire house,
Yes.
and there was a lot there. But $25,000, indeed, we netted an extra. We grossed an extra $90 on that house which was a substantial number for them to put in their pocket. So little things for some houses, right? Like picking
just some
things
tweaking
up.
and just giving the seller ideas to get that wreath, get that front door mat, move the furniture around a little bit, that kind of stuff. Tweaking goes a long way. But when we actually have to go in and do a lot more work, the benefit is there. I mean, you put the money in, you get the money out. It's the right choices. And I try to do it on a budget to say, what are the things we have to do? Where are the talking points on this house? Is it the family room? Is it the first floor? Is it the kitchen? Is it the master? We kind of determine that after we walk through. And then we do it as moderately as we can, but we just make the right decisions, whether it be a new paint color and some new lighting, and sometimes it means a new change in floor, or that. We don't go in and say everything has to be changed. We pick and choose what's right, what we think the potential buyers are going to be looking for. 90% of the time we're right on that, and you end up spending a little and getting a lot back on it. So.
Exactly right. So the intention with staging, and the intention when you come in for a project, and sometimes it's a little project, sometimes it's a big project.
Right.
The intention isn't to, all right, I'm going to sell my house, so now I'm going to get my dream kitchen, or I'm going to get my dream master bath. No, do that in the new house, guys.
Yeah, don't invest in that now. Right.
But sometimes there are things that just have to be done to get the house sold. Right. And to your point, one of the things I love about working with Kathy is that she gets it. She gets that we're selling it. She's going to do it as moderately as possible. Right. I'm going to tell you this, though. So many times we've had something, I mean, I can think of some master baths you've had to tweak for me.
Yeah.
And at the end of without a big budget, we didn't gut it and redo the master bath. But I've had sellers look at it and go, geez, I wish I'd done this 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because it was so minor what you did, but it made such a difference in terms of a fresh face.
Exactly. I think people look at it like a mountain, like I can't change everything, so I'm not going to change anything. And sometimes just subtle tweaks and a couple new things can update a bathroom enough to sell it, and enough for the buyer, for the seller to go, oh, I wish I could, I wish I would have done that. I'm now going to sell this house. And that happens a lot when somebody comes in with a new perspective and changes it around. I have a lot of sellers go, oh, now it looks great, and I'm going to put it on the market. But I think it just takes sometimes somebody else to come in with fresh eyes and say, here's what you need to do. Let's do it on a budget. And those simple tweaks and changes can make a difference.
So do you have one more tip, just a good tip that somebody could do on their own? Bigger things, they need to hire you. They need to hire you to come in and move things around. But what would be something else people could do themselves, even in preparation for you to come in?
I think for me, a lot of times, I think just neutralizing. I think paint color neutralizes, so we can go with a nice, very, very neutral paint color. That helps. Things like shower curtains. If you have a wild, crazy shower curtain, just a white shower curtain, cream shower curtain, solid, and some plain white towels, cream towels, just freshens things up. I like to just neutralize. Pillows. You can go to Target and buy a 2-pack of cream or navy or gray pillows. Fresh pillows, cute throw. Those are they freshen up the old couch. Now, you're not selling your couch in the deal, but yet the freshness makes people feel like, oh, I could be in this family room. I could see my stuff in here. And I think when things are just neutralized, anybody can kind of walk in and go, this bathroom, we could move in here. My kids can move in here. We don't have kids, but my in-laws could be in here. It just kind of being able to see it from every vantage point, I think that goes with neutralizing. One last thing I say, I can't tell you how many times I walk into houses that are getting ready to sell, and they have a plunger next to the toilet. It is my biggest pet peeve, and I question why people leave it out ever, but especially when you're about to sell your house. All that says is, my toilet overflows. I don't have the greatest plumbing. So I feel like little things that you wouldn't even think of that you walk by every day. Plunger, no, put it away. Toilet brush, no, put it away. Those are the things we live with maybe every day. Those are the things that have to go, that are so simple but need to go. My last tip is rubbing alcohol on glass. In the morning when you're rushing to get out and you're brushing your teeth and toothpaste is splattering up on your mirrors and your faucets, rubbing alcohol. It leaves no streaks. It's quick. It's easy. It makes it look like...
I didn't know this.
Yeah. I tell every client I go into, because a lot of times they're leaving for the day.
Right.
And they may have 3 or 4 showings. And you just put a little rubbing alcohol underneath your bathroom cabinet and a paper towel. It gives it a completely smooth look. It will do it to your faucets. It will do it to the mirror, toilet handle, all of that. And it feels like fresh when they come in. So Windex is great, but leaves a little streaks when the light comes in. Rubbing alcohol, it's my go-to. I keep it in every bathroom and down here. It's a really good, quick way to clean up a bathroom when you're in a rush.
When you're in a rush. And how you leave that bathroom is a really big deal for people when they come in. Because you want it to feel fresh and clean and not bathroomy, yucky. To your point, plunger, great point.
Yeah, just the simple things that just be mindful. Even if that means getting up 10 or 15 minutes earlier before you leave for the day, it's worth it, because when potential buyers are walking through and you're at work, they're seeing the best side of your bathrooms and your every room. But the private areas in our house are hard to keep them together when we're rushing out the door. So little simple tricks of the trade like that, I'm telling you, go a long way.
So I love this. One of the things I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to do some additional videos with Kathy. And over the course of time, we're going to share more tips and insights from her, because she's really good at what she does. But what I love that we did today is we shared some things that anybody can do.
Right. These are not
so
things that you need a stage
before. So this doesn't take your skill set, because I don't have your skill set, but I too could buy a wreath. I could get a new shower curtain, and I could declutter some things and put some shoes away.
And that's half the battle right there.
Yeah, and we may or may not have a plunger in a bathroom right now, so I might have to make a quick trip home and do that. So, yeah, I love that.
I will plunger shame you because I don't like them. I mean, we need them, but we don't need to see them.
No,
that's my thing.
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
Kathy, what's the name of your company?
KL Interiors, located in Fishers.
And you do, but you'll work all over the city.
I do. Yeah. And I do staging, but I also come in and just people that want to repurpose. They just say, I need help with my house, I'm bored. Can you come in? Can you help me tweak it? Maybe we move some furniture around, use what we have. Maybe they have a small budget, buy some accessories, but I love that too. You don't have to be moving to get a fresh look in your house.
No, and it's some simple things that you can do to really enjoy. So we're going to talk about those things. But if someone wanted to call you, how would they call you? How would they get a hold of you?
They could get a hold of me at 317-590-2448, or they can email me at homes.klinteriors@gmail.com.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone, today. This is really fun for me. Ultimately, what Kathy does for my clients is a big deal for me. So, because it makes a home look the best it can. And then we have great pictures taken. Sometimes then people are a little sad because the house looks so great and they're thinking, why didn't I do that before? Do I really want to sell this? But you get to be part of their next adventure.
I do.
So, thanks for watching. I'm Laura Heig with Century 21 Scheetz, your key to the finest homes.